What's up guys, TJ got Kicks saying out here back with another shoe review and unboxing just for you guys. Today we have got a pickup, not personally for me but for my dad. Today, for the first time in this channel's history, we are doing a review of a pair of New Balances, and this is a pair that is hyped and pretty popular among the younger generation and the new age of sneakerheads. This is the BB 550 PB1s, or just simply known as the white and gray 550s. Got this for a really nice price of about $280 over at Foot Locker. You know that when I speak about my dad, he's very influential in how I viewed sneakers as a very young toddler. Watching him come home from his away trips with new Air Maxes and whatsoever, and this is kind of how we get to keep him up to date and freshen him up just a little bit. So the New Balances 550s just come in the standard gray New Balance box. This is a recyclable box. It has some like nice little cutouts. We got a storage cutout here as well, if that is what it is basically. But let's not talk about the box, let's talk about the shoes. When you first get the, oh my lord, but when you first get the box open, you have the New Balance paper just gleaming at you right there. You open it up and the angels start to sing, not as high pitched as they would for a pair of Air Force One Uptowns, but kind of get the same tones for this. So let's talk about the first New Balance that I will be reviewing for my channel, the New Balance 550s. And this is, I believe, just the triple white colorway, as they say, but as from what I know in the Foot Locker store, there's another model that is also a triple white. But let's talk a little bit about the history of the 550s. The 550 was one of, I think, the earlier models of New Balance's attempt at coming into the basketball footwear scene. At that point in time, the ABA almost became the NBA. This was about the 1980s, and a designer called Steven Smith helped co-design this exact shoe. And I believe it was actually called the New Balance Athletics 550 Oxfords, or Open Oxford, something like that. But it's around that time, Avia, I don't want to say Nike, but Avia and New Balance had the kind of same New York heavy panel design styles, and this was one of the shoes that, after it kind of lost popularity in the early 1990s, kind of went into oblivion and resurfaced because of Teddy Santis's Aim Leon Dior collab, which has got this shoe and propelled it through the stratosphere, and where it's kind of become the it shoe after the Panda Dunks have done their thing. So not saying that the Dunks are irrelevant, but it kind of opens up the market a little bit more in terms of how sneakers speak to you. Different sneakers appeal to you, and it's not just the Ultra Boosts or the Dunks or the Stan Smiths anymore, not the Shell Toes. It's also this. I think it has made a comeback at just the right time with the coming in of the slightly more baggier fits of wear, bringing it back to the early 90s almost, and it's just the perfect sneaker for this day and age. So much so that I'm looking at it and I want to buy myself a pair now. So excuse me while I do that later on. But this is my dad's size 8. So the reason why we picked out this shoe, initially it was supposed to be the P600, sorry, because he likes those running shoes, those old school running shoe types of shoes. But we wanted to like have it be a little bit more relevant, or a little bit more in tune with today's styles. So hopefully that when he wears this in office, whatever he does, or whatever he does doing with white shoes usually, is catches the attention of people. So New Balance is known for being a dad shoe company, or a bulky non-stylish shoe company, but that story has since changed, and that narrative is now with the younger generation who want to wear New Balances, different types of models from the 547 to the 480s to the New Balance numeric skateboarding line of New Balance. But New Balance is cool again, and I hope that is here to stay. But the 550 is basically like this multi-paneled design shoe. For the toe cap, you've got this very asymmetrical style, so like when you kind of look down, you kind of get a little bit thrown off when you look at your toe. But this is a design language that's basically supposed to help with toe jams and also support with the toe to kind of just keep you locked and centered on the footbed. Moving up, you've got some perforation there, and you've got some perforated leather making up this side of the panel, with the 550 just right over there on the, I want to say the kickflip area, because I think there's a kickflip area, but right at the first two laces you have the 550 lettering. Going up to the middle of the shoe, you've got New Balance there, and it's kind of nice and a little bit puffy. And this is in a, what's the material called? It's kind of like that trading card holograph, like on the TV dunks, the Nike SB TV dunks, but this is kind of like ASMR. That material right there will wear and yellow over time, but then again, this is a white shoe, it's gonna yellow over time anyways. You got smooth leather for that portion of the shoe. You've got some nice little mesh which make up the inside of the shoe as well, and it's also on the outside, helps keep the weight down and also helps with comfortability and when you're trying to cinch the shoe around your ankles or cankles. You've got the same thick cut leather going to the back. For the back heel portion, you have the New Balance logo just right there. On the Aim Leon Dior's or the ALDs, those have the ALD logos, and this has this. So I want to point out that the heel kind of like feels like an Adidas Push, where it's kind of like a little bit high, but it's got that soft little material, that mesh there, and it helps with forming to the Achilles and whatnot. On this side, the only thing different from this side is you've got the exposed foam, similar to how the Form 84 was designed, and I don't believe that was intentional. I believe that was just something that was common to that day and age, to have like cutouts of the EVA. Adidas did something different, New Balance did their own thing. So let's try that again. So going up, for the tongue, you have some cutaway mesh, and this helps with flexibility of the shoe. I'm gonna make some sneakerheads cringe right now, but it helps with the flexibility of the shoe, especially on this part when you're trying to flex. That cutaway there helps so much with breaking in of the shoe. You've got a nicely mid-panel padded tongue. It doesn't have a mesh material, but this is like more of a close mesh style material, so this doesn't clean too well, but it's a white shoe, what are you gonna do? You've got standard six lace holes making up the lace system of the shoe. You have white laces, no spare laces whatsoever. You just have these, so if you want to change it up, probably you could change it to the gray. I like the shade of gray just to match the outsole, but hey, that's pretty nice too. The tongue, you've got the only kind of throwback or callback to New Balance basketball. You have the New Balance 550 logo just right there with a basketball behind that NB. It's kind of like moving and whatnot. The patch is huge, let me tell you that much. The back of the tongue, you've got white with the size tag and whatsoever. QR code there. On the inside, you have the kind of same material that you do with the outside, making up the sock liner, sorry, the liner, the inside liner of the shoe. And this is also nicely padded and kind of feels like it will cup your heels pretty well when your feet is locked up in there. For the footbed, you have one of the most impressive insoles that I've ever seen on a stock piece of footwear. You have Ortholite with this I call it like a stabilizer, because S used to have this kind of a design for their system STI level 1 or level 2 footbeds. Basically, like, they would have like an arch support here, and you would kind of have like a stabilizing material that is a little bit harder than what you have here. So this kind of provides a dual density step-in comfort setup. So you have the nice little cushy Ortholite up front, and you have like a stabilizing ride in the back, and that keeps you cradled and obviously on the footbed. So like I said, this is one of the most impressive insoles that has ever come with a stock shoe. Getting this at $280, this makes it worthwhile. On the inside, as you can see, that pink board right there is the Strobel board, which is a throwback, and Jordan Brand has it until nowadays. It's basically just a thin piece of cardboard to help with torsional rigidity, so that the shoe doesn't flex too much at the midfoot. It's supposed to make the outsole just a little bit more rigid. So let's talk about the most interesting design aspect of the shoe, and I believe it's the outsole. If you can see, there is so much detail going on with that outsole just right there. The way that that back has kind of like a heel cup, which helps with keeping you locked in, and the way that it has the same thing there, and the cutaways, and this portion here that raises up just a little bit to also keep you on the footbed, because I believe when you are inside the shoe, you kind of see where I'm like pushing out just a little bit, but you are sitting right in that portion of the sole. So this has to be, you've got to be sure that you've got the right fit, right width also with this shoe, because of that rubber that you will definitely have to break in to kind of make it feel very comfortable. But if you don't get the right fit from the get-go, you're gonna feel a little bit of pain, but hopefully over time it kind of breaks in and kind of widens up just a little bit. The outsole, one of the most impressive and grippy outsoles that I've ever seen. You can tell this will grip. Not even multi-directional, but it has so much different patterns, and this was how shoes were designed to be played in the black tops back in the days. And this sort of design, I hope, kind of stays for outdoor use or casual shoes nowadays, because obviously indoor players don't want to have an aggressive pattern like this. It would obviously be a little bit too heavy. You want to be fast, you want to have the weight down, you want to be light on your feet. So having this isn't really conducive for indoor balling, but it is conducive for just all around wear, and if you are balling outside. There is no indication of this shoe using the ENCAP or the NCAP system from New Balance, but what we can definitely tell is that that EVA runs full length, so it's from the heel to the toe of the shoe with a nice little, I think, 0.88 offset, I would say. So that is essentially the New Balance 550. First time I'm reviewing it for this channel. Let's take a look at the outsole again. Let's take a look at the upper again. And the reason I picked up this shoe is some really nice materials. You can tell by the way that the leather is cut, just right there. Look at that thickness. In the back also, you can kind of tell that the leather used is very, very thick and very, very nice. It's consistent throughout the shoe. I don't see any sort of synthetics except for the lining on the 550 area. Like, helps with the color blocking of the shoe. But that is essentially the 550, one of the most popular models from New Balance as to date. Here in Malaysia, you've got the chicks using other, you've got like chicks and dudes using other models, but globally, this is arguably one of New Balance's most popular models in store. Whenever they have new colors, they usually sell out 9 times out of 10. Collabs with Rich, what's it called? Rich Paul. ALDs, you've got, I believe Palace might make a collab with this brand soon. And it's one of those shoes that, although it's not skate friendly, it definitely serves its purpose as a skate shoe, because skateboarding shoes drew inspirations from shoes like this with the paneling and the overlays and whatnot. You can tell that this definitely lent ideas to how people design their skateboarding shoes. But I believe and I hope that the New Balance 550 is here to stay, and I will definitely actually be getting myself a pair. So the New Balance 550 from New Balance. TJ got Kicks 89. See you guys at the next one. Peace.